Everybody, welcome to Monday. I thought I'd do another gameplay video with Tsushima. We're rescuing hostages at a farmstead. And I'm not totally sure what I'm going to talk about this time around, but I wanted to show off more gameplay in this game, because this game does a lot of neat things. And you guys liked this the last time, so I thought I'd do it again. But, okay, there's an enemy. There we go. One of the things this game does that I think is really cool is that quest givers, like NPCs, sometimes lie to you. Which I think is kind of cool. That you can't necessarily rely on what some person tells you is going on. Whoops, and how did I miss that? Okay, sure. That's cool, and it made me think about, you know, the internet and the various things that are going on in gaming, and the reasons people form opinions they do. And more and more, I'm thinking that, well, first of all, people's private opinions and people's public opinions are not the same. We all know that, right? Let me turn down the game audio a little bit so it doesn't muck too much. But people's public opinions and people's private opinions are not the same, which is sad. I mean, I have to remember that sometimes because I don't have a different opinion in private than I have in public. There may be some things. What just happened? I touched the touchpad a funny way and he bowed. But a lot of people do. A lot of people say what they think they're supposed to say. And that's a big problem in game reviews and gaming criticism. That people too often give official opinions that they think they're supposed to have instead of the opinion they actually have. And so ironically, we get into this hostage situation on the internet that everybody feels persecuted in some way and like they're being attacked by a pack of wild dogs. This is not a wild dog. Somebody owns this dog, but he's an asshole, or he was an asshole. And so everybody thinks they're constantly being shot with arrows on the internet, when really, they just need to pay attention to what the fuck they're doing and end the fight way faster. You like what I did there? I'm making this relevant to the topic. But I tell you guys, over the weekend, I almost took a Twitter break. I was just so tired of the nonsense. I don't know what happened lately that has caused people, some people, not everybody, you guys are cool, but have caused some people to go absolutely bonkers when it comes to not being able to handle other people having different opinions on the internet. But it's getting really real. See, I helped him. I'm a good person. But my stupid uncle still disapproves of me no matter what I do. I like that dynamic of the game, that the uncle basically disapproves no matter what you do. I feel that. I feel that. This game understands me. But yeah, I had it over the weekend with social media and all things social media. And it isn't one faction or another faction. It's not one group. It's anybody who puts politics over people that I'm just like, I'm done. There's too many of them. They think that having the quote-unquote right political opinion is going to keep you warm at night or going to guarantee you friends or popularity. And I hate to break it to anybody with that opinion, but usually if you have the right view, it's unpopular. And there's gotta be a way that we can distinguish from unpopular views and views that are just flat out, like, not cool. And that's tough, right? Because, guy's a hostage I freed. Okay. Because sometimes a view seems so unpopular that you think it must be wrong, only for a few years to go by, and surprise, surprise, it's all it's the one that everybody's following. or you start to sort of give way to a particular view because so many people seem to hold it, and yet, strangely enough, within a few months, it's gone, and the chattering classes have moved on to, you know, some other post to whip on the internet. And it's really hard to keep your own mind, and it's really hard to sort of have your own moral compass when everything's that loud and belligerent. And that's the thing that I'm most concerned about now, is that people do not necessarily choose a particular social group at certain points in their life. Sometimes you have to sort of, you know, put up with or curry favor with people by real or perceived necessity. And and when that happens, it's tough. You have to, you know, bite your tongue and shut your mouth a lot, and it doesn't feel good. Are you up there? Oh, no. Okay. Get off the ladder. Block. And those are the people I'm very concerned about regarding well-being. Ah, shit. Where are you going? Where are you going, Big Bonk? What? Oh, crap. Shit, this has never happened before. Hurry up! Move it, move it, move it, move it. Screw you, Big Bonk. Okay. Okay. So, like I was saying, those are the people that I'm concerned about right now. The people that, oh, come on! Stupid spear guy. Don't be rude. There's a lot of people out there I know who are afraid of losing their job because of opinions they have over video games. And while some people may think this is ridiculous, I kind of get where people are coming from, because they can't tell the difference between innocent opinions and, you know, opinions that will get you, quote unquote, canceled. And that's why I think some people are so afraid of cancel culture right now. They really don't know where the line is, so they don't know how to stay on the right side of the line. And they're very worried that people will decide for one reason or another to go after their employment basically because they don't like them. And I get that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how often you say this stuff is not new, that this has all happened before, this will all happen again. I mean, God, I've basically been canceled twice in my life. But it's, I get why it's disturbing for people who don't, you know, they're not self-employed. They don't make their own business. They can't really, it's not easy, especially now, to just find a new job, right? And they're afraid that stuff that people took offense to will follow them wherever they go. And that isn't right. People need the ability to make mistakes and learn from them. And that's what I think is not happening in the current climate. People aren't learning from mistakes. People are getting more dug in to views that, if they get outside a particular echo chamber, seem kind of goofy. And they may sound, you know, totally reasonable when you're around a group of people who all think essentially identically. But getting outside that loop, you know, the ideas really don't hold over the slightest scrutiny. And that causes people a lot of mental strain because they need to stay in this group for perceived survival. But they get outside the group and, like, see their families or anything like that, and they start questioning the views they have to believe or else. And this causes a whole lot of mental stress for people. And I think that's part of the reason that this game has taken off, because it seems so simple. And it just seems like, you know, even though, you know, they toy with the idea of different systems of right and wrong, everything seems fairly clear and easy to follow, right? And life's not like that. And a lot of people use games to escape life. I prefer to use games to contextualize life. Hear me out, okay? I don't necessarily think that people become different people in a video game. People just behave in accordance of freedoms and a certain amount of in-game power that they don't have in the real world. And in the real world, I don't have this much trouble finding people, though, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I get lost a lot. But you know, it's the whole question of, you know, that doesn't mean I think if somebody wants to play an evil bastard in a game, do they really want to be evil in the real world? No, I think it's more a lack of consequence. Like, if you're choosing to play as evil, you know you're being evil, right? It's more that people want the freedom to be able to do things without the sky falling and the world ending and, you know, all that dramatic stuff over stuff that really shouldn't be that dramatic. And this is where I'm kind of disappointed. And I guess I shouldn't be. But I'm kind of disappointed in the kind of general reactions to COVID-19. Instead of people sort of realigning and deciding, okay, we need to focus on what's really important, and it's not stupid politics, it seems like people just used the virus to double down on whatever political beliefs they already held. And okay, I'm just gonna run around and have these dudes find me because I have no idea where the fuck they are. But that's a little disappointing for me as somebody who lives in reality. But I think that also means that a lot of people are so in these political echo chambers that is their reality. That reality is only what the people around them have made it. And I mean, on the bright side, we've kind of hit rock bottom, haven't we? Right? Like, it can't get much worse than this. On the other hand, it means change is coming. And I truly do believe, after surviving the original political correctness war in the 1990s, things swing back. They always do. Now, what's going to happen when that happens? Well, if the past is prologue, it's not going to be terribly satisfying. The people perpetuating these culture wars are not going to get run out of town on a rail. They're not going to see the error of their ways. They're just going to adapt to the new zeitgeist because, first and foremost, they're survivors, and they're really, really good at telling various groups of people what they really wanted to hear. So they were always at war with Oceania, you know. They never really believed it. It will either be I was forced to, or they'll do a tearful I made a mistake during a period of there'll be a period where, with a nudge and a wink, everyone will be allowed to sort of disarm and move on in the mainstream. You don't believe me, but they do happen. Some people will be thrown to the wolves. Whatever happens after the US election in 2020, somebody will have to be a scapegoat. Now, right now, it's looking very much like that scapegoat is Trump. What's going to happen is that the people who enabled him are going to claim it was all him, they were forced to. And then we wait and see whether the people who were caught in the middle with this stuff, with people who felt legitimately wronged, with people who have been just trying to get through the last 4 years of extremism on all sides, whether people are going to buy that. The nice thing about politics is people can just, vote out public officials. Hey, there we are. People can just vote out political officials they don't like. It's not the same as coworkers. It's not the same as, your boss or all that stuff. And I think that's why people are so utterly freaked out by cancel culture, even though it's not a new thing. I suspect there will be a lot of new companies that start up just because a lot of these companies have hitched their wagons so much to the culture war that they'll either be acquired or, they'll merge or something because it's time to cash out while the cash-in's good. But there will be a change and things will shift. I won't say things will go back to normal because who can even determine what normal is? But the nice thing about games, and I hope people really keep this in mind, because I suspect it might get a little worse before it gets better, especially since there's going to be a consolidation in the console wars, where Xbox just seems to be kind of bowing out and going, we're Games Pass. So, the two consoles that matter now are Japanese. And I don't know what that's going to mean, that Microsoft isn't really a major player in consoles anymore. I could be wrong. The new Xbox could sell gangbusters, but they really don't seem to be bringing an answer to Sony's look at all our exclusive IPs parade. So I have a theory that Sony has just been biding its time with the censorship, with the, we're gonna, censor games that Japanese people like in the West because we don't want to offend anybody. Now, I know that pissed a lot of people off, and I know a lot of people, it will be hard to really forgive Sony for that, but I think they were just biding their time. And fun will come back as soon as the powers that be think they're not going to get a major headache by doing so. And that's really what it comes down to from, people I've talked to when kind of getting the read of the decisions companies are making and where, what I've heard from people who work at those companies. Everybody just doesn't want the headache. Everybody just wants to get through the craziness, wait for some sense of sanity and moderation to be restored, and then we'll go back to, business. But for now, everyone's just holding their breath. Now, that's going to have to come soon because people can't hold their breath forever. Anybody who's played a video game knows that. It'll be interesting if people don't get a breath soon. Then we're really going to get into some rocky stuff. It's already starting. I mean, the protests in the streets in America are maybe that's the mark, right? Maybe that's the high water mark of people being fed up. But make no mistake, people are fed up. And people are sick of everything having to make a point. And you may not believe that based on what you see on the internet. But keep in mind that on the internet, people feel like they constantly have to be on. When they get off the clock, so to speak, and they get into their own lives, they want to kick back and have a good time just like anybody else. And so games like this are going to continue to sell despite people trying to make a big deal about stuff that just shouldn't be a big deal. I know it's hard to believe because you guys can only see what's on the internet, right? But things have a way of righting themselves in everything. And the writing of the scales right now is not one side is going to win or one side is going to lose. That's not how cultural history works. There has been sort of a dual pendulum swing to the extremes, and the pendulum is going to swing back towards the middle. And yes, in our lifetime, the pendulum will swing once again. We will see another flirtation with extremism in our lifetimes, because that's just the way these things work. But before that happens, we will enjoy a period of relative moderation. And you can still get that if you choose now. I mean, you don't have to open everything up. Not everybody does not deserve your access to you. You don't have to let people just run roughshod over you on social media because of some, well-meaning belief in free speech. Freedom of speech means freedom to avoid speech when you can't handle it as well. And if people don't respect that, block them. If you don't want to give them the satisfaction of a block, mute them. But take care of yourself. I'm worried about a lot of people out there. Go play some games. Go to work and just sort of be aware. If you're working right now, sort of be aware of what's around you, how people are sort of responding. I'll do a standoff to end this. You don't have to talk about anything deep. Just be a person. You're allowed. It's totally okay. And we're going to end this with standoff that I won. Good. These are hit or miss for me these days. Is that it? They all dead? I hear the music. Oh, there you are. Hey, Big Bonk. All right. Stab. That's how it's done, folks. Okay, remember, Twitch tomorrow, 6 p.m. Join me there. That's a good place for us to talk and hang out and do all this stuff. And I hope you like this placeholder video, because I'm really freaking tired doing all the stuff I'm doing right now. And, I forgot to do the Patreon stuff. If you like this kind of content and me wearing way too much makeup because I did this after shooting boss fight, that's not Patreon, that's PlayStation. Come on, Leanna. Here we go. Help support this channel. Become a monthly patron. Patreon.com/LeannaK. Thanks for watching.